So we are going to discuss about how to approach a case of hematophagia. Okay, before that we start with a clinical vignette. Okay, so let's start. So a 51-year-old male comes to the emergency department because of abdominal cramping, nausea, bloody diarrhea. Okay, and the patient reports having 2 episodes of large volume red to maroon colored liquid stool over past hour. Okay, he has also been feeling lightheadedness. He has symptoms of orthostatic hypotension. Okay, but he does not have any vomiting, chest pain or dyspnea, and he is taking ibuprofen for ankle pain since 2 weeks, and he does not have any significant past medical history. Okay, and screening colonoscopy was done 1 year ago. Okay, and it revealed diverticulosis, scattered diverticulosis. Okay, and on personal history, he smokes a pack of cigarettes daily. Okay, and 6 packs of beer every week. Okay, and on physical examination, pulse is 112, blood pressure is 116/70 on supine and 90/60 on standing. So there is postural hypotension, and the patient appears anxious and diaphoretic, and abdomen is non-distended on abdominal examination, but there is mild generalized tenderness. Okay, and no guarding or rebound tenderness, but bowel sounds are hyperactive. Okay, and rectal examination was done, and rectal examination shows maroon colored stool. Okay, maroon colored stool, and blood samples for cell count, serum chemistry, and type and cross match are obtained, and intravenous access is established, and IV fluids are given. What will be the next best step? So abdominal CT, I am giving you multiple choice questions. Okay, abdominal CT angiography or wireless video capsule endoscopy or radionuclide bleeding scan or UGI endoscopy or bowel preparation for colonoscopy. So what do you think? What is the answer? You think and come to conclusion, and again repeating the question if you don't understand it. He presented with abdominal cramping, nausea, bloody diarrhea, and he had 2 episodes of large volume red maroon colored liquid stool over past hour. Okay, and screening colonoscopy a year ago showed diverticulosis. He has postural hypotension and mild generalized abdominal tenderness, and rectal examination there is maroon colored stool. So what will be the next step? What will you do after establishing IV access and giving fluids? So which investigations will you go for? So pause it and think it. Okay, so this patient is presenting with hematophagia, which is most commonly due to bleeding from lower gastrointestinal tract, like diverticulosis, hemorrhoids. Okay, these are source of lower GI bleed. However, rapid large volume of bleeding from an upper GI source, example let's say peptic ulcer, can also lead to hematophagia. Okay, rather than more classic melena typically associated with upper GI bleed. Okay, so if there is rapid large volume bleeding from upper GI source, then it can also lead to hematochezia. Okay, up to 15% of cases of hematochezia are due to upper GI bleed. And in patients with hematochezia and hemodynamic instability, it should be initially assumed that there is upper GI source of bleeding. If there is no strong suspicion of lower GI source, like what are the factors that make you suspicious of lower GI source of bleeding, like passage of large clots and non-diverticular bleed. Okay, and this patient has orthostatic hypotension as well as risk factor for upper GI bleed. Like I told you, he has been taking ibuprofen for his ankle pain for 2 weeks, so there is risk factor for upper GI bleed. Okay, therefore following initial resuscitation, esophagogastroduodenoscopy for identification and treatment of suspected upper GI is most appropriate. So UGI endoscopy, because it is both diagnostic and therapeutic. If you can identify, then you can clip that bleeding vessels also. Okay, for patients who remain hemodynamically unstable despite initial volume resuscitation, interventional radiology like angiography with embolization are often the best alternative to esophagogastroduodenoscopy. Both abdominal CT angiography and radionuclide bleeding scan can be helpful in localizing the active GI bleeding. However, these tests are only diagnostic and not therapeutic, so esophagogastroduodenoscopy is preferred. Initial intervention with colonoscopy is appropriate in patients with hemodynamically stable hematochezia or strong suspicion of lower GI bleed. However, esophagogastroduodenoscopy is the most appropriate initial intervention in patients with hemodynamic instability and reasonable suspicion for upper GI source of bleeding. And let's talk about wireless capsule video capsule endoscopy. So it is reserved for patients when both esophagogastroduodenoscopy and colonoscopy fail to identify or localize the bleeding and source is thought to be a small intestine. Okay, so it is reserved for last. Okay, so now let's summarize. So although hematochezia is most commonly associated with lower GI bleed, large volume upper GI bleed can also present with hematochezia. Okay, patients with hematochezia and hemodynamic instability should generally be assumed to have upper GI source of bleeding. So patients with hematochezia and hemodynamic instability should generally be assumed to have an upper GI source of bleeding. So following initial volume resuscitation, they should undergo initial evaluation with esophagogastroduodenoscopy. Okay, so if you want to take note, you can take it. Okay, so we have started our vignette from here, and this is our vignette. and this is our options, and this is what we have discussed.